All right, happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Welcome on in to the Raiderland World Headquarters. Glad you are out there tonight. We got a lot of moving parts on this show, updating almost in real time the NCAA House settlement. That's the whole NIL, how we're going to pay players, everything else. It's falling apart at the seams at the judicial level with Judge Wilkin today. Again, we'll detail that. It's What If Wednesday, every Wednesday, alt history around here. What if the Cowboys traded Troy Aikman in 1990 and kept Steve Walsh, the so-called favorite of one Jimmy Johnson? What if that happened? Texas Tech sports today. This is a big overriding question. Give me what you think the greatest strengths are in Texas Tech athletics today. What are the best things going for Texas Tech athletics? What makes it strong? What are the biggest challenges for Texas Tech sports to overcome? You get the idea, right? This is not hard. There will be no math involved. All of your communication tonight brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street. They took care of you at Easter. They're going to take care of you for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Memorial Day, everything that, and just everyday groceries, right? They're going to do that. So you get in tonight thanks to United Supermarkets and Market Street, the grocery store that supports Texas Tech athletics. Indeed, Craig, the talking box is on. For those old folks who remember back where that came from back in the day. So a lot of different things going on. We want you to be a part of it. If you're on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, great. We want to get your comments in. If you're on our YouTube channel, our growing YouTube channel, I would ask everybody tonight who gets in on this broadcast, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, do so tonight. Don't cost nothing. You can watch wherever you want to watch. We just need to bump the subscribers up over 500. Dang, so close. I know there are 25 people out there tonight that are going to do it. I really, truly believe it. And then our wonderful Facebook crowd, you guys are the best. Every day on Facebook, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. Wherever you're watching, we're glad you're here. Let's do this in 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com, the website. You start your day there. Raiderland hot links, fresh every morning. The coolest links. We figure if we like it, you'll like it. Everything from Texas Tech to trucks I need, cool stuff about West Texas. And, well, you get the idea. You know what we're talking about there at TheRaiderland.com. We also give you our question of the day. Let you sound off on that, kick it around in your brain before we get here to the daily broadcast. Tonight, we're talking windows and putters. That's right. You need new windows. Don't go to Golf USA for that. Go to Golf USA for new putters. They got a lot of new putters there at Golf USA. That's a golf store. They play better golf. Stacy Nix, great Red Raider, great supporter of this program. We thank him. Now, the windows, Ultra Exteriors and Warren Taylor, they're going to take care of that. So check out Ultra Exteriors. You know your windows stink right now. You don't like them. You got that weird stuff around your windows. You've been thinking, I need to do something right. I don't know what to do. The wife's, just banging on you all the time, thinking, honey, we got to do something about these windows. Take the pressure off. Call Warren Taylor. All right. Quality Control Director HUD Taylor will help you out, guide you through the process every time you give them a call at Ultra Exteriors. Check out their website. A lot of stuff there that'll get you going. And they do more than windows. If you got to just try to make the home look a little bit better this spring and summer, they're the ones to talk to. All right, let's get it going tonight. Are we ready? Are we ready? I said. Have you invited folks in? Have you shared this? Have you done your job as a loyal viewer here in Raiderland? I know you have. All right, where do we want to start tonight? The What If Wednesday question. Every Wednesday, we're all about alt history. Thank you, Robert C., loyal listener and viewer, for giving us that idea a couple of months ago to do alt history on Wednesday. I like it. We do it tonight. The question is, since it's draft time, so in '88, the first draft pick by Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones was one Troy Aikman. They already had Michael Irvin on hand, and they take Aikman first out of UCLA. When Aikman was in town for the Cotton Bowl, there with UCLA. Did they play Arkansas? I think they did that year. Tom Landry came out, while they were working out at Texas Stadium and literally personally looked over Troy Aikman, and then he got fired. So you already were going to get Troy Aikman. Then Jimmy Johnson comes in. He'd been coaching Steve Walsh there at Miami, and he liked him. So in the supplemental draft, they go and get Steve Walsh. And for a year and a half, they actually battled for the job there in Dallas, with Troy Aikman saying then and later that he thought that Walsh was the favorite of Jimmy Johnson. But eventually in 1990, they would trade Steve Walsh. I believe Seattle. I think it was Seattle. I'll double check on that. And then obviously move on down the road. The what if tonight, what if the Cowboys had traded instead Troy Aikman going into the 1991 draft? After 2 years in the league, getting the hell beat out of him in, his rookie year. What if they kept Walsh? What if they had said, we can get some really great draft value and draft capital? Because what were the Cowboys all about at the time? Acquiring draft picks. There was no salary cap. You could sign as many guys as you could pay. And the 1991 draft was wretched for quarterbacks. All right? Horrible for quarterbacks. Brownie Nagel was drafted. So what do you think happens if you don't have Troy Aikman? But you still, if you trade him, you get great draft picks, and you probably still are in a position to get Emmitt Smith if you want him. Still get Russell Maryland there at the top of the draft. You still have that pick that you had acquired. Could you have won with Steve Walsh at quarterback instead of Troy Aikman if you'd had even more talent? Or what would have happened? What happens to Troy Aikman if he's not a Dallas Cowboy? What if he gets traded to Chicago or the Jets or wherever? How does that change history? That's the what if question tonight. And then the Texas Tech question. Texas Tech athletics. What do you consider? Sorry, I got something on my contact lens. What do you consider the greatest strength right now for Texas Tech athletics? It's fairly obvious if you've been paying attention. What is the biggest challenge or weakness that Texas Tech athletics has to overcome still in 2025 to achieve things at a high level? You tell us. Get in on that United Supermarkets chat line. We want to hear from you. Portal is closed in basketball. Darian Williams still out there. Would you take him back? Would he come back? Do you care? And then the NCAA house settlement put on hold again for at least 2 weeks as the judge tells the NCAA, yeah, I told you about the roster limits. I don't like it. And you came back and you said, we don't care. And I'm coming back to you and saying, either fix it or I'll scuttle the whole thing. Chris jumps in on Facebook. Softball just had a player hit for the cycle. Did that? Okay, so now in today's age of NIL, that means they might actually get a motorcycle. I mean, if I were a local motorcycle dealership, I might actually put that in there. It's so rare for baseball and softball. I might just say, if any player hits for the cycle, you actually get a cycle. We'll give you a cycle. I mean, that's right out of Major League Baseball and minor league baseball marketing. Who did it? Who hit for the cycle? Tech scored 9 runs in the first against UT Arlington, and then I was like, okay, I really don't have to expend a lot of effort on this midweek game that they did move up an hour, worried about weather tonight. Chris, I respect Troy, but he had a lot of weapons that made him look good. Yes, he did. So, okay, so what's the old history? Could the Dallas Cowboys have traded Troy Aikman in 1990, kept Steve Walsh, who obviously had a very pedestrian NFL career for what it was? Would there have been enough talent for you to win with a game manager? Who would Steve Walsh have been? Like a Dilfer? A Trent Dilfer type guy? I'm talking guys who got teams to Super Bowls. Who would he have been? Aikman would have got you a first-round pick and probably a second-round pick as well, and maybe a player or two, depending on how the trade went down. We can base that off what Atlanta got for Brett Favre when they traded him to the Packers, the Jeff George trade there in the early 90s. Those were two of the bigger trades of quarterbacks in the early 90s and what they got. Aikman would have commanded maybe a first-round pick and two second-round picks, multiple years. What would have happened? Get in tonight on YouTube, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. It's Old History Night. What if Wednesday? The Cowboys had traded Aikman, kept Walsh. How different is the Dallas trajectory? And what happens to Troy Aikman if he's on another team? We can eliminate a lot of the good teams at the time because they had quarterbacks. They wouldn't have been trading for him. So it would have been a bad team, ostensibly, or at least a team that didn't have a good quarterback. Throw out the Bears. We look at the teams who drafted quarterbacks that year. That was the year of McGuire, Browning Nagel. Not good. What's different? All right, so we want to hear from you. No matter the platform you are on tonight, YouTube, Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, and then, of course, our Facebook page where comments coming in good, and we appreciate that. Chris, the biggest strength of Tech Athletics, showing it will do whatever it takes to win. Weakness, breaking through that glass ceiling and winning championships. And that's one of our questions tonight. We put it on our Facebook page there for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland back on Monday, I think it was. The idea of, okay, your strongest assets are what? Your biggest liabilities are what? Now, the money is not an issue right now in the wild, wild west. I think we're going to continue to operate under that into next year. With what happened today with Judge Wilkin and the House settlement being tabled again for another 2 weeks, the NCAA could screw up a ham sandwich in this deal with their lawyers. They're in the process of doing it over roster limits, which is a really not arcane aspect of this settlement and how it would apply to previous student athletes, but also artificially cap without a cap going forward. Oh, you can have as many scholarships as you want. Oh, but we're going to have roster limits. We're not going to call it a scholarship cap. We're not going to call it we're going to. And the judge has bristled at this. And the biggest problem with this whole House settlement still is the idea that if I'm in high school right now and I'm a freshman or a sophomore, you are going to artificially institute upon me a deal that I didn't negotiate, that I can't work around. But I got to play by the rules, but it's not collectively bargained. Then that's, at the end of the day, just say it over and over in your head. Until college football players are unionized and until the schools just pay the players just like the NFL, none of this is going to matter. There will be lawyers that will be overturned at every step of the way. Now, the idea of going back to Texas Tech's problem on the glass ceiling and winning championships. Obviously, I think we're talking about football right here, of getting to a Big 12 title game, winning a Big 12 championship, getting into that realm. Well, you're closer now, possibility-wise, than I think you've ever been, including 2008. You were close, but you were miles away at the end of the day. You really were. In that setup, in that realm. And people forget during the year they remember the amazing win against Texas. They forget what you had to do to beat Nebraska, where the Texas game doesn't matter. That's different topic, different time. But the glass ceiling that you're talking about breaking through on winning championships is basically football. Everywhere else you've done it within the conference level. National championships are a different breed of cat. So, yeah, on football, you've got to do that. But what is it still location? I think everyday location doesn't matter. The more we have NIL, the more we pay players. They don't care where they go. Manhattan, Kansas, Lubbock, Texas. And I always said if location mattered the most, Hawaii would be the winningest program in all of America. And so it's San Diego State. And they're not. So I think we can throw out the idea of location being a drawback for Texas Tech. So then what does it become? Perception? Is that glass ceiling that Chris is talking about? Is it perception that is the biggest? Is it a fan base, perhaps? that is still a little bit of, you know, the beaten dog syndrome, I used to call it back on the radio days. That you expect, when's the other shoe going to fall? What bad thing is going to happen? A fan base that doesn't like expectations. Oh, I'd rather be under the radar, man. I don't want to be picked too high. I'd rather be under the radar. I'd rather have a bunch of gritty 2 and 3 star guys that are hard workers than a bunch of 5 and 4 star guys. Now, I'd like to think maybe that mindset's falling away. I don't know that it is. I don't know that it is. I'd like to think it is. That I truly believe one of the biggest limitations on Texas Tech is a part of a segment, not you, because you're really smart and you watch this show and you've been around us for decades. So you know I'm not talking about you. But I do believe there is a part of the Tech fan base that is somehow averse to expectations and winning in a weird way. That they'd rather lose gallantly than win. And I know that makes no sense, but I know you know people like that in your life, everyday life, who live their life that way. Truly, I know you do. So tell us tonight, jump in whether you're on Twitter X, at Ryan Hyatt Media on Twitter, whether you're on our YouTube channel for Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, or on Facebook. A lot of good Facebook comments tonight. Where are my comments? Where are my people on YouTube and on Twitter tonight? I'm getting worried about you guys. You know? What's going on here? Oh, and now I got this deal that says can't post comments to some destinations. I'm not sure whether I should click on that right now or not. You know? Do I learn more? Do I click on that? It makes me nervous. Well, we'll figure it out. Don't worry. And if that's one of those weird things tonight, then this is why I would say again to everybody who watches this, if you're on Twitter, this is why you should follow us on Facebook. If your comment's not coming through, you can switch over to Facebook and comment. If you're on YouTube and for some reason I'm not getting your comments tonight, you can go over to Facebook Live. Right now it's Raiderland. Facebook is easy to do. And we can get that. That's why we're on a multi-platform network and we make it happen. So I apologize if you are on Twitter or Facebook and I'm not seeing it. I don't know if I can pop up on another screen real quick and see if get anything on that side. Nah, it's not going to let me do it that way. Oh, you guys know what to do. Chris is back with us. I mean, Facebook has been strong tonight. I think the Cowboys still probably win a few Super Bowls and Jerry still screws it up by running off Jimmy. That probably doesn't change. Going back to the What If Wednesday question, what if the Cowboys had kept Steve Walsh? That Jimmy Johnson looked around and said, this team is going to be so good that even though I know Aikman's really great, that I got a quarterback who's good enough, but I can get even more talent by trading Troy Aikman and just become an even bigger juggernaut than what I am right now. The reason why I think this could have played out is the arrogance of Jimmy Johnson. And even a little bit maybe the arrogance of Jerry Jones at the time. But certainly the Jimmy Johnson ain't no stink on me, smartest guy in the room, that he could win. He didn't need Troy Aikman. Now, you had to draft Troy Aikman that first year if you're Jones and you're Jimmy Johnson. You've got to take Aikman. But if he was really in love with Aikman, why did they use the supplemental pick? Remember, that was a supplemental draft pick that cost him a pick. Cost him a pick in that next draft, which they, probably would have wasted, depending on if you believe they would have taken, who was it, Blair, the running back out of Penn State, and I can't even remember who else was up top. Guys that really didn't pan out. But they still used that pick. And Troy Aikman was convinced then and still is today, if you believe certain sources, that Walsh was the favorite, that was creating discord. So they trade Walsh and they keep Aikman, and we know what happened. That's what alt history is, though. We flip the script. We go, what if it had gone the other way? What if Jimmy Johnson had said, I'm keeping him? I mean, what else could you have gotten? Who else would you have gotten in? And it would have probably been that 91 draft. We go back and we look at that 91 draft. That was a fascinating little draft. All right. Now, the Cowboys had acquired in, trades, picks, and otherwise, Russell Maryland pick number 1. Not bad. Eric Turner goes to Cleveland after that, defensive back out of UCLA. Bruce Pickens out of Nebraska, defensive back to the Falcons. Mike Kroll, another Nebraska linebacker. Remember, this is late 80s, early 90s Nebraska. This is peak Nebraska. Todd Light, defensive back. Eric Swan goes 6. And then we go back down. We look at the quarterbacks in this. And that's why I say I think you could have made some trades. By the way, the Cowboys had the 12th pick in the draft. And they got Alvin Harper out of Tennessee. That worked out pretty good. Then they came right back and got Mike Pritchard. Mike Pritchard came on the next pick to the Falcons. That you might have had that pick if you'd been working a trade. The first quarterback is Dan McGuire, Mark Eve of Destruction McGuire, brother, Dan McGuire, San Diego State, goes to Seattle, bust, complete. Kelvin Pritchett goes to the Cowboys at 20, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. And then your next quarterback taken is the legendary Todd Marinovich out of USC, robo quarterback, never had a candy bar, never had a Coke, and immediately went to the NFL and became a druggie and was no good. So you see, it was a horrible draft for quarterbacks. You could have made some moves there in that time frame and moved Aikman. Go back real quick. Sorry, I'm having to change screens on this. And go to the second round just to show how bad it was on quarterbacks. So we're in the second round, and now that's where you see Favre is taken by Atlanta in 91. Not bad. The only really good pick. Brownie Nagel goes to the Jets. Brownie Nagel. Not even Denny Nagel. Dixon Edwards to the Cowboys. Another, remember this, they're stacking up picks, and they're getting a ton of them. And as we go through, was there another there was not another quarterback taken in the second round. My gosh, how bad was that? How bad was that draft for quarterbacks? You got Favre, and that's it. So it would have been most interesting. I agree. All right. You guys have been really good tonight. Obviously, there's something funky going on with the comments, and I apologize for that. We control what we can control, and we can't always control that when it comes to getting in. So we're going to examine why and figure out why. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to have a huge day for you tomorrow. Overrated, underrated, rated right. We'll be with you in the morning on the website for that. So that'll be a great thing. You can get into your comments and post that. You can always comment on the website. If you tried to comment on the show tonight, you can comment on the website, theraiderland.com, when we post this. You can also hit us on Twitter at Ryan Hyatt Media. And I hope everybody subscribes to the YouTube channel and helps drive us over 500. Same thing on Twitter and Facebook. Subscribe to all of them. But, yeah, always something funky going on tonight with Twitter and with YouTube. So we're going to figure that out. Not sure what it is, but we'll figure it out. We'll make it work. But let me use this again as an opportunity to say, if you subscribe to all of our channels and you find out something funky is going on, you can go to the one that's working. And obviously tonight, Facebook working good. I don't know. I am not a media tech savant. We just do what we can do. So, yeah, easy win for softball. Somebody hit for the cycle. Baseball. I knew we were not going to get any rain, by the way, last night when baseball canceled on Monday or whenever it was. Yeah, Monday, and said we're not going to play the Tuesday game. And I was like, no, there it goes. There's any chance of rain for us. Maybe we'll get some tonight, but I don't think so. We'll see what happens on Thursday for some rain chances. Everybody needs it around here, farmer or otherwise. So thanks for being out there. Thanks for Ultra Exteriors and Golf USA being great sponsors tonight. You get Golf USA putters. Warren Taylor, to my knowledge, horrible golfer, Don't ask him about putting. But then again, don't go to Golf USA and ask Stacy Nicks about how to do new window treatments and put in new windows for your house, because the blank stare you will get will be epic. Know where to go. You know, you got to know where to go. So we thank them for being out there. And of course, United Supermarkets in Market Street. Well, I'll probably be there tomorrow picking up stuff. Who knows what you need until you go there, and then you find out I needed that, even though I didn't know it. You guys are the best. We enjoyed it. We will have tons of stuff for you tonight. Facebook, Twitter, at Ryan Hyatt Media, and then in the morning with Underrated, Overrated, and Rated Right Thursday. See you tomorrow. TheRaiderland.com.